The following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? We have the best of the best with us. We have the Mooney twins with us on today. We're doing a tribute to their father, Paul Mooney. Let's show the flyer. They will be here this weekend as a tribute on Father's Day. And we will be talking to them about that. Host will be Funky Larry Jones. Al D. Freeman is going to be the host. And on today, we have Dwayne and Daryl Mooney. Let's see them. Hey, friends. Hey, friends, how you doing? All righty. So we have Dwayne and Daryl Mooney with us on today. And this weekend, we will have their tribute to their dad on there. And that will be Sunday, the 20th. Hey, guys, how you doing? Mr. Dwayne and Daryl Mooney. How you doing, guys?
This is Dwayne over here.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I can hear you. You can hear me. Let's go with it. In looking at everything, I am so excited about you guys being here this weekend and doing this tribute to your dad. Everyone is so excited just about Paul Mooney. Starting with Dwayne. Let's start with your brother. In looking at being a celebrity, when did you know Dad was a celebrity? Did you know? Do you still know?
When I saw him on television, literally, because my mother and father were very young when they had us.
Right.
She was 15 and he was 2.
Oh.
So
don't do mom like that.
They were very young, and so they were never really together. So the first time I knew he was a celebrity when I saw him on a TV commercial. He was doing a Colgate commercial.
Mr. Daryl, jump right in. Did you see the same thing, or when did you have the knowledge that he was a celebrity?
Well, we knew he was this guy who was in the TV set. Is what we knew.
He was in that screen.
And we saw him, like Dwayne said, the first time on the Colgate commercial. And then the second time we saw him, it was an old show called The Dating Game. The Dating Game. And he was picking the women. So it was incredible. So he was like this person who would come on TV every now and then. And it was pretty unbelievable because we were like 6, 7, 8 years old. Right. So it was a mind blower, man, to see your father on TV the first time you actually saw him. Because like Dwayne said, when we were younger, we weren't with him. We were raised by our mother and our grandmother and our great-grandmother. So we didn't see him when we were younger. So we see him on TV. Imagine that.
Wow. Now, Dwayne, when you jump right in here, just saying about Dad, you see this guy and you say, man, that's Dad, isn't it? you both look at each other kind of like, is that Dad? What is he doing?
Yeah, is that Dad? Who is he? Can he come? Can he come and give us some money? Can he come hang out with us? What's up? Or can we jump into TV?
Right. Absolutely.
So we were trying to figure it out. But it was just amazing to see this man, this handsome man, this articulate man on television. So, and as we got older, we finally got to meet him, and it was just a wonderful meeting him for the first time. He gave us silver dollars. He gave us $2 silver. Said, "Here, I want you guys to have this." And our uncle Ricky, we got the silver dollars. But our Uncle Ricky, when we saw him, he said, look, Uncle, look what our dad gave us. He gave us silver dollars. He said, really? He took the silver dollars and bought us some potato chips.
Wow.
Yeah. If these were silver dollars right now today, if we would have kept them, they would have been worth a lot of money. And our father told us, you guys keep this for decades and it's going to be worth a lot of money. And our uncle hated our father. Wow. Literally hated our father. And so he said, like Dwayne said, he said, go buy some potato chips. and silver dollars just destroyed just like that. And we cried for a week, man.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Now, Mr.
Crazy.
Daryl, as you're
like
looking
you
at,
said, when we saw him, when we started visiting him when we were like 13 and 15, and we would go to Los Angeles and visit him in the summer, and it was incredible because we were introduced to Hollywood.
Right.
Think about it.
Yes.
We're from Oakland, California, the hood. Then we have a whole cultural shock being introduced to Hollywood. So it was pretty incredible, man, going from friends in the neighborhood, Junebug and Uncle Ricky and Pee Wee, go to LA and you meet Billy D. Williams, Jim Brown, Calvin Lockhart. You start Anazette Chase, Richard Pryor, a whole cultural shock because Hollywood was a whole nother reality, man.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you spoke about that because I was going to ask you about that. In doing that, Daryl, let's just pick up right there. You're young. You're coming from, like you said, the hood, and you're going to Hollywood, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Then you have to then go back, right?
Oh,
we were never
brother.
the same. We went back. Oh my God. We were never the same. We were so Hollywood. We were like, we had on the Hollywood outfits.
Right.
Tight jeans.
So do you go back? Do you go back home to mom after you stay? That's what I'm talking about.
So
you go and you stay with dad, and then you go to mom.
Cam, you didn't hear what Dwayne was just saying, bro.
Okay.
Look, we got bit with that Hollywood bug. I don't know if you remember, they had these old pants back in the day that was hot, man, in the 70s, right? You would patch. Remember the patch?
Right.
The patch jeans with the flares.
Yes.
We had the tight flares. Look, take this off. We had the tight flares. We had the big afros. We had the shirts wide open down to the. We was Hollywood, dog. The big afros, the shirts unbuttoned down to the bottom. We in high school walking down the hall like we were stars, baby. Like the camera was rolling.
Hey, Daryl. With snakeskin boots.
Oh yeah, and y'all at high school snakeskin boots.
In high school, man. In Oakland.
So
we wasn't asking girls for phone numbers. We were signing autographs.
That's too funny. Did they know that was your dad? Or I'm sure you made sure of that, right?
Yeah, we made sure of that. Yeah.
They didn't know. Well, they didn't really, because he wasn't big then.
Oh, okay.
We knew. Mm-hmm. They didn't know. We just came with an energy coming from Hollywood that was a whole different aura that we had to explain to them. They said, "Where y'all been?" Hollywood. Hollywood.
So your mindset never went back to Oakland again, even though you were there. Your mindset never went back to Oakland.
We were gone. We left. Eventually, we were gone.
And then when we became 19,
we were like, we don't do gang banging. We're Hollywood. We don't
have time to. We don't have time. We've got to do acting like there's no gang banging unless there's a camera around.
That is too funny. That's too funny.
So, but you have to understand, man. So when we became 18, we graduated from high school. Our mother said, "Okay, it's time for y'all to get out the house and go live with your daddy. For real, go live with your daddy." So literally,
you gotta go.
Day she said, "Go live with your daddy." We packed up the car, drove down to Hollywood, and said, "Pops, we are here." He said, "Okay, come on in." And that's when we started living with him instead of visiting him. We were living with him now. Now, check this out. So remember, we're young, right? But we're bigger than our father wanted us to be because he wanted to be 16 in Hollywood, right? You know how Hollywood.
Right.
So we would be around, and he would tell everybody we were his brothers.
Wow.
He wouldn't say we were his sons. And we would walk around. The Jackson 5 were real hot at the time.
Right.
So our father, he would wear, what was the name of those apple caps? Remember the apple caps?
Uh-huh.
The apple caps tilted to the side. we all three would have on Apple caps, and people literally thought we were the Jackson Five. They thought he was Jackie, we were Michael and Marlon.
Michael and Marlon. And they would ask us, "Are you guys the Jackson Five?" We said, "Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Michael." I'm Michael.
And I'm Marlon. We'd sign autographs to Jacksons. It was crazy. It was crazy time.
When did the identity of Paul Mooney, when you got out there, you moved out there, and you all became these Mooney twins? I mean, the world knew at this point.
Yeah, we
The
became,
movie-
well,
we did a film called The Fisher Say Pittsburgh, because we got into the acting bug, got in us, and our second audition for something, it was for The Fisher Say Pittsburgh, which was a basketball film dealing with astrology. That's why it was The Fisher Say Pittsburgh, because it was a team made up of Pisces. Dr. J was the star of the team. So when we did the movie for 3 months, that's when we got the bug. Because you got to remember, when we did the film, this was before hip hop, and we were staying in Pittsburgh hotel. And at the time, the Commodores, when Lionel Richie was with them, were on tour, staying in the hotel. The cast of The Wiz was staying in the hotel. So you had all these women dancers in there, and you had all these groupies for the Commodores, and we had our own groupies for the basketball players in the movie, the professional basketball players. So you had women in there all day. It was insane.
so obviously, Cam, we never left the hotel.
Exactly. I could see that. I could see that. I could see
So
you.
that bug hit us, man. We came back. Feeling like big Hollywood stars, man. We came back to Los Angeles, man. And so we got paid. We got paid like $10,000 a piece. So our father immediately said, "What are you guys going to do now?" We said, "Man, we are going to find out what life is all about. We are going to take our time and find out what life is all about." So we went into acting classes. We started doing stand-up comedy. We started researching and reading things because we had time now. And check this out, brother. I don't know if you know Tom Dreesen. Tom Dreesen was the famous comedian who was the opening act for Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra. And what happened, he created a show called Around Him and Us, where he was like our uncle. And he asked our father, what should the name of the show be? Remember, his name was Tom Dreesen. And my father said, call it Uncle Tom and the Twins.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So check this, brother. We come from doing a movie, right? Immediately we get on hold by CBS for 2 years. They hold us, meaning they're paying you for 2 years, and you're under contract for them for 2 years. So think how big our heads were. Just doing a movie. We're like 18 years old, right? 18 years old. And immediately come back a month later, we're on hold by CBS for 2 years. We thought Hollywood had been conquered. It was over. We was about to be superstars. We was about to have all the women around the world, all the money that we could ever have. Man, we was like, thought this was it.
Right.
And guess what?
What happened?
The reality hit. The show never went through. It never got picked up. We never even shot a pilot. We got paid, but they never shot a pilot. And then the reality hit. And then the acting classes, and then we started doing the theater, and then the comedy grind, and then all of these things, trying to make it in Hollywood when the reality of Hollywood hit. It's not an easy thing, brother.
Wow.
It's not an easy thing.
And it's one thing that happened. We were doing we were supposed to do warm up for a comedy show, and it was so interesting that we got hired to do it, and it was so interesting that we got hired. We came in the next day to do the show. The executive producer came and met with I want to meet with you guys to talk to you. He came with us and he says, you know, you guys are very talented, but I don't like your father. So you guys are fired.
Wow.
So he hired us to fire us.
Wow. He hired
That's
you
how
to
cool
fire
Hollywood
you, to fire
He
you, to
hired
send
us
a
to
message
fire
to
us.
your father.
Yeah, and our
Send a
father, we
message.
told our father, said, Dad, somebody hired us and then fired us off a TV show to do when we were doing warm up for the stand up show. And he said, "Who is it?
Exactly.
Who is it?
Yes.
Who
Yes.
who is that? Who is
Exactly.
that?" And we told him who it was. Next time he saw him, he cussed him out so bad in public. It was insane. That's how our father was. He said, "Don't you ever don't use my sons because you don't like me. You come to me
Right.
about you not liking me.
Right.
I will whoop your blah 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 blah
Yes.
blah."
Yes. Yes.
That was our father.
Yes. Yes.
And of
Yes.
course, the gentleman that he's talking about had the complexion for the protection.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So,
Him being
so,
a,
so,
Mhm.
so it was wild growing up with a controversial comedian
yes.
who took. He used to tell us, he used to teach us, and we did stand up. We used to say, "Dad, Dad, Dad, what can we do?" He would watch us and he would say, "Look, if you want to get better doing comedy, don't watch comedians. Look at the Nicholas brothers. You all are like the Nicholas brothers doing comedy." I don't know if those of you out there don't remember the Nicholas brothers. They were a famous duo tap dance act. They used to dance with Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire back in the day, some of the old black movies. They were phenomenal. And he said,
Best
you,
that ever did it. Best that ever did it.
he said, "You want to do stand up like them? Go on and tell them what he told us, Dwayne."
He told us, he said, watch them because what they do is like they dance together, then one dances, showcases, another one holds back, and then the other one showcases, and they dance together because you guys are a different type of team. You're not a funny man, straight man. You're both funny, and you can both be the straight man. So you play off each other like the Nicholas brothers.
Wow. Wow. And that's carried you all this time.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what we do.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And he also told us
Absolutely.
when we first started out, we used to use props,
Mm-hmm.
put on wigs, and we had a magic box. We would go in and pull out stuff. And he saw us perform. He said, "You guys, but the Moonies don't do props."
So that was over.
That was over.
And now imagine in Hollywood. So being introduced to Richard Pryor, being introduced to Red Fox, being introduced to Flip Wilson, being introduced to all these Hollywood folks, and Richard Pryor was one of the most humblest persons. Richard Pryor drove up to the house, right? Because Richard used to show off. He used to love and brag and show off to our father, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he gets a new yellow canary Rolls Royce. Richard drives up to the house, honking the horn. You hear this honking in the horn early in the morning. Beep, 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 beep. He said, "Everybody come outside." He said, Paul, look what I got. Look what I got." He said, "Okay." Paul was like, "Okay, Negro. All right.
Exactly.
We're going to all ride in the car, Richard. We're going to all ride." He had the convertible top and everything. "We're going to all ride in the car." So Richard was like, I didn't come on here to get them Negroes in the car. Right? So we all get in the car. We ride around the whole time. He said, "Don't touch nothing in the car. Don't touch nothing in the car. Y'all better not dirty up nothing. Don't eat no candy. Don't even talk. Don't spit. Don't do nothing while you're in this car. Just sit still." It was funny, man. So we rode around in the Rolls Royce with the top down, and Richard was just beaming. He was so proud. He was like a kid in the candy store, man. So then Paul would say, "No, I want to drive. I want to drive. I want to drive. I want to drive because you don't need to be driving a Rolls Royce. You need a Negro car. You need a Negro car. You should have a Cadillac. You shouldn't have a Rolls Royce. Give me the keys, Richard. I'm going to drive the car because the police will stop you in this car. Watch." Our father starts driving the car. 10 minutes later, the police pull us over. Because my father would attract police like stupid going north. Because he would be in the car. They don't look at them. They're looking at me. Look at them. They don't know who I am. They don't know if I'm O.J. Simpson, John Amos, Calvin Lockhart. They don't know who I am. And so I said, "Look, watch, look at them. Watch them pull me over. And immediately, you talking about the law of attraction, they pull us right over. And he'd start hollering, and Richard be over there, Paul, will you be cool, man? Will you just be cool? And he'd tell the police, this is my car. The police would say, that's Richard Pryor. He said, they told Paul, you better be lucky that's Richard Pryor right there, because we're going to let y'all go, because if we would have kept on, we would take you to jail, okay? And leave, and let the rest of you go. But because Richard is in the car, we're letting everybody go. Wow. So this is how, so our father, he did not like folks stopping him. I'm talking about the folks with the complexion for the protection. Yeah. So he didn't like them bullying him. He did not like them verbally bullying him. He did not even like them having a superior attitude toward them. He was always standing tall. For those of you who know Paul Mooney, he was always standing tall. And he always said in his comedy, he was the Malcolm X of comedy. He's going to tell the truth. Do you know, sir? He died on Malcolm X's birthday.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
To the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter Cadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy, because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey family, we're back with the Mooney twins, Dwayne and Daryl. Hey guys, we were just talking about the fact that your dad just passed on May the 19th, which is Malcolm X's birthday, and he was a champion. Paul Mooney was for the African American community. He really was. Anytime there was an opportunity, I will say each time I saw him, he was fighting for us along the way. Daryl, you had just spoken about that.
Yeah, he was fighting for us along the way. And when we think about it, people always say he was a civil rights person. He was one of the most important things about him in the House that people should know. He had 3 books. He had a lot of books. He had a bookcase, but he had 3 books that were very powerful that I always remember. One book was Red Fox's Encyclopedia of Black Comedians. Very powerful. And then he had a book called Game of Life, which was a self-help motivational book about self-esteem. Then there was a book called Destruction of a Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. And these books really framed him and what he was all about, because when you look at his comedy, not only was he a comedian who told the truth about racism, but he actually helped liberate the black mind of over 300, 400 years of slavery and post-traumatic slavery syndrome, because he gave people the strength, the common folks, and even comedians, the strength to talk truth to power, and for common people and fans to learn how to speak up for themselves against racism, whether it happened in their own community or whether it happened with their friends. This is what people have told me, Cam. So his comedy was very influential on a lot of levels, not only being funny, but conscious-wise too.
I'm glad you said that. Dwayne, jump in here. What did you see from Dad? Same thing. Let's talk about it.
Well, we watched him actually transition from a nice guy comic trying to please Hollywood to being more aggressive and being more opinionated. Watch the transition was just amazing, because he comes from Oakland and that whole Black Panther movement and that consciousness, it was always in him. And once he got that, because he was like that off stage, once he presented it on stage, it was a wrap, because comedy is about being authentic. And once he became authentic, he became real. So it didn't matter if he became big in Hollywood, because this was his lifestyle. He was the same way he was on stage, he was off stage. This was him 360 degrees. As he always said, even playing movie roles, he was like, I really don't like playing movie roles because nothing is more epic than me. Nothing is better than me. I like playing me. There's no character bigger than me. I like playing me. And what he taught us with that, what he taught us was how to be authentic, how to be our real selves, how to stand up for what we believed in, and how to use the power of the word to influence people, because this is what he did. He is the greatest comic that ever talked about racism that's ever been on stage. No one has been as quick, as witty, and on point and strong as Paul Mooney. The Comedy Store, where he performed at for years, they didn't want him to audition for the NBCs and the CBSs, but he was so good, they would put him on late at night when everybody would leave.
Right.
You know what happened? Black folk from the hood would come way from the hood to come see him at 1 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden it'd be like, about 12 o'clock, it'll be about 5 or 6 white people in the audience, because they would be leaving. And the late night non-funny white comics would be on then. But they would put him on at 1. And all of a sudden, about 12:30, you would see all these black folks coming around. And then you see lines around the corner to see Paul Mooney at 1 o'clock. This is where Black Comedy Night started. It started with Paul Mooney in white clubs.
I love that. Ava DuVernay says, Paul Mooney, a comedy giant. I recall listening to his Race album in college and how informative it was. Yeah, the jokes were more so the freedom. He spoke freely and fearlessly about feelings and experiences others found difficult to express. He did that.
Yes.
He did it in a great way.
Yes.
I was saying what he did to the people. He empowered people. He empowered the minds with information, with humor. And remember, when you can create levity around racism, you reduce a lot of the stress, because now you can not only see the reality, but you can laugh at it. And that's what he's always said. He was also a healer. Comedians are healers. So he was able to bring levity to racism, although it was the seriousness behind it, but the levity made you laugh about it, helped you laugh about it. Once you can laugh about it, it helps you relieve the stress, because when you laugh, there's an oil that releases from your brain that drops all throughout your body that reduces your stress level and creates joy. So you can go on living with a positive attitude.
Absolutely. There are some things that were really pivotal for him. One of the things, he's the first black person, as he stated, in the Writers Guild ever to be out there. He's the first one. He spoke freely and unapologetically about his black experiences that others were afraid to express.
That was him.
That was him.
Again, he confronted racism all the time. In fact, he would find racism in a white marshmallow and a milk dud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would always call it out.
Yes.
I remember one time that I was trying to collect unemployment. And I'm at the office, and the white lady was talking to me. And I told her, she said, "Well, how do you make money?" I said, "Well, I make money. I babysit my younger brother." And she said, "Well, bring me a note from your stepmother and prove to me that you're making money." So I go do this, get the note from my stepmother, come in the office, and then the next day, the white lady tells me, "You can't collect unemployment. You don't qualify because you get a check for babysitting." This is what she told me.
Right.
And then my father came back and said, he asked me, "Well, what happened, Dwayne?" She said, "Well, the white lady at the office told me I don't qualify because I babysit it. I get a check." He said, "What? Really?" I have my Paul Mooney hat on. He said,
Right.
"What? Really? I'm going to go down there
Yes.
to the unemployment office with you because that white bee will set you up. So we're going to go down there." He took me down there and he said, "Where is that white lady that stopped my son from getting unemployment?" He saw her. He read her for 15 to 20 minutes in front of everybody. "She's racist and she used my son. He's babysitting and he doesn't get paid for that. You used him to make him sign something so he wouldn't get unemployment. And that's not happening here. He will be getting his unemployment and he will be getting it today, or I'll be raising hell." And I got my unemployment that day.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, and you have to like the people out there, like, where did he get his material? Where did he find his humor? Like he would always say, life
Yes.
writes the jokes for me.
Yes.
He used to sit. We used to watch him read. Two things he would read. He would look at the newspaper, but what he would read judicially, he would read the Final Call, the Nation of Islam Final Call paper.
Mm-hmm.
He would go through the whole paper. And he would go through all of Jet Magazine,
Mm-hmm.
Final Call, and Jet Magazine. And then you have his periodicals like People Magazine, Star, and all that. But Jet and the Final Call were his two go-to black information.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he was about, man.
Yeah.
Teaching, educating the people through humor. His comedy stage was absolutely his lecture stage.
Yes.
That was his lecture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was
It
his
is.
place of power, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he would do his thing. He would be up for 3 hours, 4 hours, my man. I mean, just laughter, laughter, laughter. Then take a break and just start teaching. Then go back into joke. He could make anything funny, the most serious stuff funny. And then we would sit up and watch him and Richard Pryor, right, Cam?
Yes.
Imagine this, in the living room, Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney, and a secretary. Paul Mooney and Richard Pryor on the side. Richard Pryor coming in with the cocaine and the Courvoisier. Father got the water, and Richard, they were sitting up there writing, and Richard is like high and saying, "Look, Paul, let's have Red say to Lamont, F you, mother sucker." So, I'm not going to use the curse words.
Right.
I mean, he would just be cursing. And our father would be saying, when he was done, "Richard, this is TV, Richard. No cursing on TV.
Right.
This is TV, Richard. Okay, Paul. Okay, Paul. Okay, I'll back it up. And 10 minutes later, Richard would be going into the same thing, and Paul would, Richard, no cursing, Richard. So what our father had to do was take all the energy he had with the cursing, and he had to change it up and clean the script.
Right.
So that's why the scripts that they wrote for Red Fox
So
was so
edgy.
funny. Like Go Eagle, that was a hilarious show when he was in court. All these things that they wrote had an edge to it, but it was still clean. That's why it was brilliant, because they had to transform all the intensity of the vulgarity into being clean, but it was still the same intensity. So that's just a little goings on that people have to understand what's going on through creativity.
Right.
You see, and our father
And we
knew
still-
how to do that. He knew how to clean it up. He knew how to clean it up. That's why Richard made him his head writer on the Richard Pryor show. Not only was he the head writer, but he was the head casting director. Dwayne, tell him how he casted all them people from the Comedy Store.
Yeah, he casted Johnny Witherspoon. He casted Tim Reed, the great Robin Williams, Sandra Bernhard. He gave these people their first TV jobs.
Right.
Because they all performed with him at the Comedy Store. So he knew them. They were like a gang. So the talent that he brought to Richard Pryor was just amazing. And you got to realize that Richard Pryor was head and shoulders above everybody. He was literally the Bruce Lee of comedy. Literally. He was the best of the best. So his road dog was Paul Mooney. Not only was Paul Mooney his road dog, his writer, his guru, his coach, he was everything. Our father used to write. He used to sit up when Richard Pryor was doing his getting ready for his comedy concerts. You know, because Richard Pryor was the first one to put these comedy concerts on the map in movies. That was Paul Mooney sitting up at the stage, at the front row of the stage, watching Richard and looking at his timing, helping him put his material together and create masterpieces that will go down in history.
Right.
And if you ever listen to a Richard Pryor concert, especially the old ones, you could hear the laughter. That's Paul Mooney in the audience laughing. These would be cues and signs that Richard would know where to go with the comedy, where to escalate, take something where we would call it milking, how to milk a joke. He would hear that laughter that would motivate Richard Pryor to keep going. These were signals for Richard to go to the next level in his comedy.
Wow.
So they worked. They were very tight and very close.
That's good.
Yeah, he would do jokes for Richard.
Yeah, go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, like Dwayne was just going to say, he was the consciousness, the real conscious stuff Paul would write. Right. Remember the joke in that N-Word's Crazy? The joke in there that was saying when black people go to court looking for justice, that's just what you find is just us.
Yes.
That's Paul Mooney joke.
Yes.
That's a Paul Mooney joke. Remember the time also when Richard caught on fire, when he caught on fire and he didn't know how to tell the public about that. And he said, Paul, how can I do this? How can I do that? And Paul said, okay, tell him what you did was you dipped some cookies in some milk and then everything blew up. And that's the joke that you see in the movie and Live on Sunset when Richard's talking about that. That's their joke. And he said, what can I do? I need a line that I can do that's funny about that. And he said, strike a match and said, this is Richard Pryor running. Right. These kind of jokes, man, that people, that Paul would give to Richard and write for Richard. So there's a lot of humor that you see in his stand-up, not only in writing on his shows, but I'm talking about in his actual stand-up. There's a lot of Paul Mooney jokes in Richard Pryor's actual stand-up.
Sounds good. Let's take a break real quick. We'll get right back to you, Dwayne. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
To the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter, Cadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, family, we're back with the Mooney twins. Dwayne, jump right in here. You were just saying something when we were going on break. About that.
Talking about. I don't even know, but I was just adding on to whatever Daryl was saying toward him writing with Richard.
Right.
It's like it was such a unit, you know, that it was incredible to watch 2 brilliant minds work together.
Absolutely.
Like Daryl and I used to be around Richard and a lot. And in fact, we met the beautiful Pam Grier. Richard was dating her, which I find that was the best. You got to imagine, he was dating Raquel Welch, and Pam Grier at the same time.
Wow.
This is like Eddie Murphy dating J-Lo and Beyonce at the same time. You got to understand what this means, that a comedian can do this. When I first met Pam Grier, and Pam Grier was sitting next to Richard, and she didn't have a bra on. She had a shirt without a bra. When I saw her with Richard, that's when I knew I wanted to be in show business.
Daryl, this is crazy. That's a good one. That's a good one.
You got to come to the club to see the rest of that joke.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got to come to the club. In his book, Black is the New White, Mooney talks about his partnership with Richard Pryor. He has a beautiful book. People have got to get books. They'll know more about their relationship. How I've read a lot of the parts of it. It's really great. It's a great book, just about his life.
Yeah. Black is the New White is really, really, really a powerful book, powerful story.
Yes.
And just from a very, very powerful man. And we really get to see after his transition how much he was really loved worldwide.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible to me. I didn't know it was like this. I mean, good Lord. I'm like, wow. All the celebrities, all the fans. Go on, Dwayne.
That's one of the reasons why we're doing this tour.
Right.
This is one. It's closure for people.
Right.
People love our father, and we find we're getting all these calls. That's Daryl and I said we got to do something about this.
Right.
We have to get out here and keep the momentum going and spread the word of what our father really stood for. See, he really stood. He really took a stand.
Yes.
on race relations in America. And he did it through comedy. And he affected, so, like Daryl said earlier, so many comedians, but he affected so many people.
Right.
And we just want to let people know that Paul loved he loved his audience. That was his family. He stayed on stage. He did it for you. You got to realize he did it for years. He never had a letdown. He performed for over, 40 years?
Yes.
This man he was dedicated to his craft. He never took a break. He never retired. This is what he lived for to do, was to be on stage and speak truth to power.
Think about it, Cam. He did comedy for so long at such a high level, man.
Yes.
I mean, long time. Do you know when Moses was parting the Red Sea, right before they went, there was a comedy stage and he was entertaining Moses? But for real, think about it, Cam. From the Flip Wilson show. Remember the old Flip Wilson show?
I know Flip Wilson, yes. Yes.
On the Flip Wilson show with Richard Pryor, right? When Richard Pryor was a guest, you can see him. He always brought a father with him to help him write his scenes. Then you go through the next experience. You had the Richard Pryor and the Red Fox days on the Red Fox show. You had that. Now think about it. Then after that, you had the Def Jam.
Yes.
How about Daryl? Wait a minute. The iconic Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
The iconic Saturday Night Live. That one. Then you had the Living Color audience, right? And then you had the Apollo audience when he was on the Apollo show. Then you had the rappers and the Snoop Dogs and the Ice Cubes that really got heavy into Paul Mooney. Then he hit the Dave Chappelle show.
Yes.
Then the Dave Chappelle show, he got all that young white audience. So I'm talking about this people 80 years old, all the way down to 18 and 19 that love Paul because he did it at such a level of intensity for so long. I cannot think of another comedian who did it for that long. Eddie Murphy retired, right? Richard Pryor, he did it for a while when he was doing the movies, but he was coming in and out of the clubs. He would do the clubs and he retired and he come back. Paul Mooney never stopped.
Right.
He never got off the stage. He never think about it. For years and years and years, he was the one comedian that stayed on stage. Even Robin Williams took a break. Paul Mooney kept the stage, was his #1 priority, to get up on that stage and tell his truth. And that's the reason why he was able to do it, because telling the truth gave him energy. It gave him light till his last days when the dementia hit in. He was still on stage. And people didn't care if he could just remember one line.
Right.
They just wanted to be in his presence, man. They just wanted to see him smile. They wanted to hear him laugh, you see. And it's funny because when he got dementia.
When did you find that out, Daryl? Daryl, you and Dwayne, touch on that real quick. Touch on that for other people, other family members.
When we found out he had dementia, he was doing a show in Los Angeles. The J. Anthony, he had a comedy club. And we called and said, hey, Jay, we want to open up for our father. And he let us, because we performed there a lot. And we opened up for him. And we saw our father performing, missing lines, staring into space. We said, whoa.
Yeah. Something's wrong.
We can't have something's wrong. And we had 2 shows. So we said, hey, didn't nobody tell us what was going on. So this is the way we're going to do the second show. We're going to do the second show with Daryl and I have microphones in front of the someone audience. We have microphones. One of us close to the stage, one of us in the back. And when our father lapses, we're going to feed him. we're going to ask him a question or we're going to feed him a line. And then if he really lapses, we're just going to talk about, we're going to do a tribute. We're going to make this a tribute with him being there. Right? So it became a tribute to Paul Mooney, but he's there on stage.
Right.
People loved it. So this is the actual continuation of that.
Right.
This is the second stage of what we did when we saw our father had dementia.
Wow.
Yeah. We have
so
a
it was
nice,
a great,
for those who come, we have a beautiful 15-minute production around Paul, our father, that is so powerful, with comedians speaking.
Let's show the flyer while he's talking about it.
You see that, you're going to love it. And it's just, and the people that come to the show on the 20th, you're going to love it. You're going to love the show. You're going to love the people who, in fact, we're inviting you, Cam, come on down and share what you thought about Paul Mooney if you can.
Yes,
come on
definitely
down.
will be there.
You know,
I'm going to be
tickets
there.
on us, no problem. Come on down. We treat you like royalty. And come on through, brother. And look, man, it's going to be a beautiful night. Because this is key. Dick Gregory told me, man. Dick Gregory told me before. Dick Gregory, we were very close with Dick Gregory also. Dick Gregory said before he passed away, before he transitioned, he said, look, when y'all come to my funeral, I don't want no crying. I don't want sobbing. He said, after I die, 3 days after I die, you can mourn all you want. But after 3 days, it's a violation. You got to go into celebration. You got to go into celebration. So now we are in celebration, brother. People be asking, why aren't you sad? You're holding up a brave front. You're holding, man, I'm in celebration, brother. Think of all the powerful things my father did. I think about where his spirit is at now, and he's touching everybody and making moves and creating powerful things. I said, we are in celebration, brother. It's an honor to be the sons of such a great man, right? It's bigger than life and death. It's just something that's, the legacy is forever, my brother. So, like I told Dwayne and like I tell everybody, you look 100 years from now, our father's information is like a time capsule. 100 years from now, they can look at that time capsule and look at Paul Mooney and learn about what this time was all about. That's how powerful he was. They will dig that up, and it will be a history lesson about racism in America.
That sounds good. Dwayne, what would you like to leave with the audience, the viewers?
Yeah, what I want to leave with them, we have something special for the audience. And we just want to say that because Daryl and I, we're also investors and motivational speakers. But what we're going to do, I don't know if it's going to be the day before or after, but we're doing a wealth portal seminar. We have an investment club called the Wealth Portal. We're going to do a Wealth Portal seminar. It's going to be dealing with how to create automated investing, where your money's making money for you, and how to have a prosperous mindset. We're going to do a seminar on that. It's going to be funny too, but not as funny as the tribute. But we're gonna, it's going to be funny money. But what we're going to do is show people, because this is what our father always taught us, that Black folks need to have economic empowerment. If you want to raise above racism, have your own. And what we want to do is show people how to make money easily in a capitalistic system, because when you're in a capitalistic system, you have to have some capital, but you have to have the mindset. You have to have the millionaire mindset, but you also have to have financial IQ. That's what we're going to be talking about the next day. So at the same place, at the club. So, and that'll be free. So we want people to come to that too.
Absolutely. We
Those
definitely
who
will
are
tell
out there,
people.
can I give my email to them?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, for those of you who need to contact us, who want to contact us at mooney_@hotmail.com. mooney_@hotmail.com. MOONEY *@hotmail.com. Contact us so you know where the lecture presentation is going to be and when that is. And of course, on the 20th, come
Yes.
on out to the show. It's a celebration. It's a party. We'll have local comedians. We'll have Al Freeman there. It's going to be a powerful, powerful show. And we're coming to Houston to lighten it up and celebrate Paul Mooney and come out and show him your love. We'll have T-shirts. We'll have beautiful things that you'll be able to take home with you. And June 20th at 9:30 at the Comedy Lounge, honoring Mr. Paul Mooney. What better way can you do that than to bring his own sons? The greatest creative production of his legacy is the Mooney twins. So come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Out and enjoy.
I'm so proud of both of you all. We so appreciate you guys coming this way. And I'm telling you guys, we have to be out there. I'm going to be out there. Well, I'm going to bring as many people as we can out there. And we're just going to have a great time celebrating his life and his legacy, you all. I appreciate you all so, so much. God bless you and God keep you. And I will see you this weekend. Talk to you soon.
Peace. Thank you, brother.
Talk to you. Okay, the Cam Hill Show, 12:30, 1:30 Central Standard Time. See you then. Bye.